Hey guys, welcome to Cartoon Conspiracy. We are your hosts. I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Jacob. I'm finally here. Isn't that weird?
I know, we're in the same place at the same time.
I know, right? It's
real.
I know. You're real. It's so surreal.
Today we're going to do a recap of some of our favorite cartoon conspiracies that happened during 2016.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to do stuff like talk about our creative process. We're going to do
a follow-up.
What was the other thing? We're going to answer questions from you. I forgot.
Oh my god. I remember seeing a comment once that someone said where you're Dipper and I'm Mabel.
That was the best comment ever.
That was it. That really summed up our different styles.
Mystery commenter, you nailed it.
That was it. That basically sums up why we're both the hosts for Cartoon Conspiracy.
We took that to heart.
So first we're going to go over some of our favorite conspiracies. Now these include all the conspiracies that came out during 2016, starting from when Emily was around to some of the guest hosts as well as us. Because, you know, we're the hosts now. Sometimes I'm there, sometimes he's there.
We understand there's been a bit of confusion.
Yes.
We are the hosts.
So one of my top favorites this year actually was one of yours.
Really?
The one about the Adventure Time Mushroom War. What exactly did it take place?
Yeah, that one was lots of fun to write because first of all, it gave me an excuse to like rewatch a whole bunch of episodes, and I had a lot of conversations with people about like trying to pin down an actual date for the Mushroom War.
Yeah.
Which was a lot harder than I had once thought. But I liked the conclusion of Y2K. And, and some people did say that, you know, there's been smartphones in Adventure Time, and, you know, so maybe it's not valid, which maybe it's not. I think I only rated it a 3.5, so there's totally room for it to not be valid.
It's true.
And I just like finding all of the different pieces of technology and all the different comparing TV theme songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was interesting. I liked how at first you were sending the theory off saying that it was in the 1980s, and then saying how it could be Y2K. I'm like, oh, maybe it is Y2K.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There was strong evidence, like, for both cases, and I love those theories the most because there's the most discussion to have with those. Here we have a character from before civilization was exploded carrying technology from the time. Looking at the phone, it seems far less sophisticated than any 3G phone, which marked the beginning of smartphones.
I got it in like the 2000s.
Did you have one of those Nokia bricks?
Yes, that was me. That was my first cell phone like when I was 10.
My first cell phone I think was in 2006. It was like a Sony Ericsson brick.
Oh god.
And I think I had it for about 2 years.
Mine was like 2004. It was just for emergencies. But it was the old-fashioned Nokia, and it probably will never be destroyed.
Yeah,
so.
I assume it's still working.
It's probably fine. I haven't checked on it.
Okay, so one of my favorites this year was one of Alyssa's also, and it was the one about whether or not Chip was an orphan from Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, that was an interesting one to research about.
Well, I thought it was great because what you did was you took a couple of well-established theories, like the prince is only 11 years old. Is Chip an illegitimate child of the princess? Does he have a name?
It's basically Adam, but in the Disney versions, they never say what his name was. Everybody believes it's Adam because I think in other stories of Beauty and the Beast, his name is Adam.
Yeah, but like that's what I liked about that episode is that you were able to kind of dispel with those theories while also providing your own conclusion that was like way more plausible.
Yes. You can go easily into how he could be related to Mrs. Potts because she could be his grandmother, but I thought that was what everybody always assumed about Mrs. Potts and Chip, that they were a grandmother raising her grandson as her son.
Yeah, but then where are the parents?
Yeah, like what happened? I know it's like France and like back in the olden days where disease was a thing and medicine really wasn't around, but but that's why I said the siblings. Like if there's a dozen children, how could they I don't know how old they are, but if the parents did die, all these kids must have been really, really young. Here's a greater speculation. What if these children, including Chip, or orphans that work in the castle? You can say grandmother, but that's the easy way out, and we theorists do not take the easy way out, unless we have to, but most of the time we like to dig more than what's there. When I decided to do a Gravity Falls theory, because I love Gravity Falls, I was like, you know what, Bill Cipher is one of my favorite characters, maybe one of my new favorite Disney villains in a way.
Yeah, Bill Cipher was like there's no words to describe it.
Yes.
I saw Alex Hirsch like at a video of a panel do his voice once, and I was like,
it comes out of him.
Like he just like does it. It's amazing.
I think because Alex Hirsch made Bill Cipher so real in a way, because he does all those AMA Reddit sessions as Bill Cipher, and there was one time where he answered a question and he's like, every time you draw Bill Cipher somewhere, that means he's looking into your world. So I'm like, it's like, wow, it's real. But
that's a terrifying thought.
It's very scary. So if Bill Cipher does exist in the world that we live in, he could be watching us right now. But
I'm sure he is.
When I originally was making it, and I was looking through Journal 3, because I actually had the physical journal, and I was looking at the possibilities of how Bill Cipher may return to Gravity Falls, I got like the 3 main ones that you see, and then after we do the how does it hold up, I prove a 4th way, which is with the axolotl, and that I found that at the end after when I was figuring out what I wanted to say for this theory. But when I found the axolotl and what Bill Cipher's message was when he was being wiped out from Stan's memory and it's played backwards, I was like, this definitely is the way how he will return. He is changing forms and reciting something that's in reverse. When you play it backwards, it says, "Axolotl, my time has come to burn. I invoke the ancient power that I may return." That was my Bill Cipher impression. It's just a lot of yelling.
First of all, when I watched that episode, I didn't know what an axolotl was.
There you go. See, and when I found out what the axolotl was and how it actually, like, when I found out what it was in the terms of Gravity Falls through the other book, Dipper and Mabel Fight the Time Pirates or something like that. Sorry, no, I can't source my information right now. But when they do mention the axolotl and how it basically can bring Bill back at another form in another time, I'm like, this is it. This is what proves the theory, and that's why I gave it a 5 out of 5, because unless Alex Hirsch makes more Gravity Falls, that's what's going to bring him back.
It's completely possible. And the other thing that I really enjoyed with that episode, because there's also the matter of the Bill Cipher statue.
Yes.
So he's got the axolotl, and he's also got the Bill Cipher statue. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, can Bill like make Horcruxes and like make duplicates of himself?
That's another thing. Is Bill actually Voldemort?
Yes. That's 5 out of 5.
Probably. So another one that was very interesting to me was the TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in case some of you don't know, is the Multiverse Theory.
Yeah.
That one of the other auditioning hosts are to Ninja Turtle. She has a real name. We're going to just use her username because it's on the video. And she did a whole video proving that the multiverse is actually a thing.
Yeah, and it was confirmed.
Yeah, it was canon. So I really liked that. I was never really into TMNT, only because I was a girl. But no, I'm not saying that girls don't watch it because she's a girl too. But I'm saying that I grew up not really getting into that. But I watched the video anyway and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting how it all comes together. And I like when things are canon and they also like bring old like the Power Rangers when they all like came together or
it's nice to see all the different versions of certain characters interact with each other because you get these interactions that like you could never imagine.
Yeah.
Especially when you have people like Rob Paulson, who used to voice Raph, who now voices like, who's he voicing? It's like, does he voice Leonardo? Is it Donatello?
Donatello.
Thanks, our cameraman just yelled Donatello at us.
This is probably happening.
He yelled very quietly.
Yeah.
But it's just stuff like that that's really interesting.
I sent him a message and he responded with, and I quote, "Transdimensional was definitely canon. The Turtles and Subprime have often talked about the 10 dimensions. To my mind, each one of those is actually a different turtle reality, with the primary dimension being number 1.
You actually contacted the creator to prove it, and I like that. I like when creators actually reach out and tell you if it's true or not.
Yeah, and multiverse theories are the most headache-inducing.
Oh, God.
So I have nothing but respect. We've sort of come to a collective agreement on what one of our favorite episodes of the year is.
The last episode that Emily did when she was sending off her Cartoon Conspiracy career to us, or to the future of hosts of Cartoon Conspiracy.
To the, at that point, unknown future.
Yes, that is true. So that was the episode where she was trying to prove if Cosmo is getting dumber on Fairly Odd Parents because of the magic. And I like how she actually got to speak with Butch Hartman about this.
That was like, it was really nice, fun, laid back episode that I thought was very fitting of a last episode for him.
Yes.
So yeah, the interview with Butch Hartman was great.
Oh yeah.
He was.
I like how he liked it and he went with it, even though it's not proven. But he did say, like, as the show progressed, they wanted to make the Fairly Odd Parents much more sillier. So they did make Cosmo a bit dumber, his voice a little higher, just to make the demographic love it a lot more.
Butch, on the plausibility meter, what would you give the "is Cosmo secretly smart" conspiracy?
Well, let's see, on a scale of 1 to 5, since I think it's pretty obvious Cosmo's actually pretty dumb, I'd say I'd give this in the plausibility meter probably about 1 3/4 crowns on the plausibility meter.
We really love that episode, and I think that video was probably our #1 favorite of the year.
It was a great episode. It was a great send-off for Emily, and it opened the doors to the future.
Yeah. So a lot of the times when our close friends and family are asking us, so when are you going to make a new video? They probably ask, like, how do you come up with ideas?
Yeah, and there have been comments as well that ask
What's
us,
your
like,
process?
Yeah, how do you come up with episodes? How do you write these episodes? Like, what's the deal there? So we figured we would share with you.
Yeah, in case you
our
want to
step by step.
In case you want to become a theorist in yourself.
This is highly tested.
Yes.
Proven scientifically.
Yes.
Uh,
What I do is I usually think of shows or movies that I already love. Things that I can really dig into if I wanted to. So I'll pick something that I watch now or something that I watched back when I was a kid. Like a lot of the 90s stuff. Like I loved Rugrats and I loved Powerpuff Girls. But I also love like Steven Universe and Gravity Falls. So I like to look at what I already know and then think of a question or think of, while looking at them, what's something that I can really prove or disprove.
in terms of actually finding ideas, that's about the first 4 days of production, by the way, is just thinking of ideas.
And like thinking of what, like first think of the show, think of the movie, then think about what the actual question is, and think about if there's maybe anything to help you prove or not prove the question.
Yeah, and you look around on the internet, see if other people
thought
are
of
talking about this, see if they've come up with anything. If they haven't, then you got to come up with more on your own. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Have you realized that since taking on this job, you have a lot less time to watch cartoons?
Yeah, I think, and the joy of cartoons sometimes, because if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a theory, and I want to rewatch, like when I rewatched Avatar, I had to watch the episodes that corresponded with what I wanted to find. So I was like, I have to watch the episode. It's like I'm not enjoying the episode as much as I did because I'm like looking for clues, like taking a magnifying glass.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, you're re-examining something that you already love, so you don't get like that whole like, oh, I hate this, but
Yeah.
it is
It's a different perspective.
It is work.
Yeah.
And
More work than play.
It's not goofing off. It's I wish it was goofing off.
We do enjoy doing it.
We love enjoying it.
We do enjoy finding theories, making the videos, writing the scripts, but you know, it's still work in the back of your mind.
Yeah, and as far as selection goes, like we usually try to pitch, 4 or 5.
Yeah, and then
ideas.
whatever comes out from there that works well with what you guys want to see and what we want to talk about. And then I just started watching Star versus the Force of Evil.
That is next on my list.
Yes, that's a good one.
The suggestions you leave are great because it gives us ideas of what to keep up with. Like Star versus the Forces of Evil is on my list. The Loud House is on my list.
Yes.
I've seen the first few episodes of the Loud House. I'm hoping maybe a theory can come soon.
Maybe. That's what we do. We watch them and then we're like, can we make something out of this?
Yeah.
And then once you get an idea, you get it all written out, then it's time to practice and film. And filming, can take some time, depending upon what location you're at.
Yeah, and our filming strategies are different because of where we're located. So, do you want to go first on how you do that?
Well, I am from Long Island in New York, and the Frederator office is in New York City, so I have to travel there, and I'll film like 3 videos at a time, and then that's what you see. That's why a couple of my videos are up in a row based upon when I can film. Take it away, Jacob.
Well, I am not in Long Island. I'm not even in America.
No, he's not American.
I'm gonna do that thing that Canadians do where we insist we don't have an accent even though we do.
Don't worry, I always get that too.
But yes, I am Canadian. I operate actually out of Ottawa, Ontario, the capital of the country. I do all my work out of there. I actually work out of my home, which sounds great, but like, you know, I had to build a studio in there, and whenever I shoot, they're a one-person thing. Like, I shoot them by myself. I used to have somebody behind the camera with me just to sort of direct me and help me out. Well, it was one of those, like, it wasn't like I could do this on my own. It was like, I don't want to, like, take up too much of your time.
True.
Because, like, I take a really long time to shoot my episodes. I assume that you shoot yours sometime in the early afternoon, like 1 to 2?
Yes.
2-ish. I shoot mine at 1 in the morning from 5 to 5 in the morning usually.
Because that's what professionals do.
It's because that it's the only time of the day where the house that I'm working in is totally silent, and I can be as loud as I want without worrying about waking people up because I have somewhat soundproofed my studio. It's hilarious. So I'm working on soundproofing still. And yeah, early mornings, it's great. And then afterwards, I do a content edit and send it over. So I do that. I spend the next day, just cutting all of the bad parts out.
If you're not used to watching yourself on film and like seeing all your little quirks and tics, then this isn't the business that you should be going into.
and if you still want to get into this business, you got to get used to that really fast.
I know when I mess things up, and sometimes I yell at myself. I'm like, curse you past Alyssa, look what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I sometimes curse past Alyssa too.
Yes. Sometimes past Jacob.
Yeah, and then I feel like there was a moment there where we weren't really sure what was going on.
Yeah, but now we know what's happening.
There was a brief moment where you know how everybody was asking like who's the host.
We didn't know either.
We didn't know how to answer that.
But now we know it's both. Again, it's both. So if you want to get into making your own videos, whether they're theories or talking about cartoons, making rants, whatever you want to do, we totally recommend it. It just becomes...
We recommend it. Just be prepared for a lot of work, like probably more work than you think it is.
Yes. And be prepared for whatever feedback that you get back, positive, negative.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. You gotta have thick skin.
Yes, that's what happens in this business and in this hobby. So another thing that comes with these theories is that sometimes after we make them and the video goes up, months later they can be proven true or proven false.
Or when you're doing Gravity Falls and then Alex Hirsch decides to release Journal 3 when you're conceptualizing an episode about Dipper's name, I'm still salty about that.
One of mine that went out during the summer was about Finn's arm and what his destiny is with his arm. And my theory proved most of it, how he may have changed his destiny and how his arm may be back for good. And then it also said how, because in his alternate realities he's an adult and he might have lost his arm at some point before he became an adult or while he was an adult. And actually that part of the theory was proven based on the most recent season finale, reboot, where Finn's arm actually comes off again and it becomes a grass warrior Finn thing.
Spoiler alert for Adventure Time,
yes. But
you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that was the clear direction they were going in, was the grass Finn duel, obviously.
Yeah, because that's what happens. So, so sometimes a theory can be proven false or true as the show progresses, and obviously this one was something that no one really knew was going to happen.
Well, the thing with Finn's arm is just every time we see future Finn, regardless of the circumstances, he's missing his arm.
Yes.
So
it had to happen.
I feel like it's some sort of like space-time continuum thing where like it's solving some sort of paradox where like so every time he has his arm, he has to then lose it so that the universe can regain balance again. Which then brings up the question: what is Breezy?
That's why I made the theory in the first place, because they brought it back.
How is Breezy able to disrupt this whole balance of the universe?
It could be the universe telling Finn that he had a chance to keep his arm, but then
he blew it.
Then he blew it. I don't know. It could just be what the universe intended for him.
So one of the episodes I did a while back was the one about whether Steven was like an engineered super soldier by Rose Quartz. That one. And it's still one that I don't know what to think because after episodes like Bismuth have aired, where like we still know so little about Rose Quartz.
Yeah, and what her real intentions were.
Apparently, she has shattered a diamond.
Yeah.
How? First of all, theories for another day.
And why didn't the crystal gems ever tell Steven about this?
Well, it's because all we know about Rose is what other characters have said about her, and all of those are incredibly biased accounts.
Yes.
With regards to the whole Steven being a weapon thing, I still don't know. We might be on the verge of learning more about it, especially with how much focus has been on Rose in the last season.
Yes.
Like Steven's connection to her and stuff like that. His purpose could be to atone for her actions.
I feel like a lot of the most recent episodes that Steven has looked at, like, what he's known about his mother being, like, this protector of Earth and stopping Homeworld and stopping these kindergartens, but in reality, when he learns about bismuth and about destroying Pink Diamond, it's like, who is she? Is she a good person? Is she bad? And I feel like maybe Rose made Steven to kind of be that sort of stick in the mud and be like making her mistakes better, or seeing things from an outside perspective in a way, so that he can maybe help in a way, maybe connect back Homeworld and the crystal gems.
Yeah, which is a great idea. Instead of him being a weapon, he's sort of this catalyst for peace that Rose was never able to achieve. Being the stalwart leader of the crystal gems, the rebellion.
I feel like maybe he can connect Homeworld and the crystal gems, maybe draw a truce in a way, stop this madness.
I mean, what we can say for sure is that Steven's, unconditional love for everything would imply that he's absolutely not meant to be a weapon.
No.
I mean, he could have been at one point, but he definitely isn't now. Especially with how he dealt with things like the cluster and
healing things.
And healing powers as well. Seems a bit odd for
a weapon. One other theory that I had that was just really recent was my one about Ash being immortal or having some sort of aging power where he's not aging or aging very slowly, because he's been technically 10 years old for 20 years. Due to the Pokemon Sun and Moon series coming out now, and how the game showed that to do the Island Challenge you must be 11 years old, and since Ash is doing the Island Challenge,
that would imply that
it's safe to assume
he's
that
aged at least
to 11.
One
Congratulations!
Year.
Happy 11th
Happy birthday, Ash.
Took you 20 years to do it. My theory isn't maybe proven false in the way that maybe he's just aging very slowly, but he has upgraded from a 10 to an 11.
So last week, I said that we were going to be talking about things here. We're going to be talking about things that happened in 2016, theories of 2016. But a big part of this video was actually going to be answering questions from all of you.
And we're very excited. So
we have some of them lying around here somewhere.
Ooh. So our first question is from Samantha Blanset. I'm sorry if we mispronounce your username/name.
Yes, that's just a blanket apology.
We're like the substitute teacher that can't do the attendance correctly. What's the most ridiculous theory you've ever heard? Alternatively, what's the most ridiculous theory you've ever created?
It's all in their head theories.
Yes.
They're all dead theories.
Coma theories.
I did one it's all in their head theory this year. And at the end I kind of said there's an underlying problem with all of these. Same with they're all dead theories. Is that you can justify literally anything.
Yes.
And you can you can introduce as much supporting evidence as you want, and then you can just discount all contrary evidence. Be like, well, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Which to me is just kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but
yeah, I agree. I feel like those should be the theories that you have when you have no other theory to really look at. If you want to do a specific show or a specific medium, and you can't think of really anything else, or they have like a really good way to prove it or disprove it. Like you're like, that actually might be a good one. So I say for the coma, dead, sleep, dream ones, and you can use it, but it's not the best one. Like when Cartoon Conspiracy was first coming out, the generic ones, like the Ed and Eddie Purgatory one, that one, like those are all the originals. So you can't diss the originals that were created when you first look up conspiracy theories.
But it's all the new ones with all of the new shows that come out that are like, oh, I think that in insert any show here, it's like they're all dead. It's like, yeah, probably. Probably in some universe.
Yeah, but what else is there?
This is a very long name, I apologize. Jasmine Mama Kogain is a censored
It's a children's show. Not really.
Furry Martinez.
Yeah, you. Hi.
Asks, what's a guilty pleasure of yours? Anything counts, food, shows, etc.
I guess nerding out over things. Like, even with us just sitting here and talking, like, this is so easy for me to talk about. And I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so, like, nerding out about Pokemon in itself is a guilty pleasure. Or, like, watching theory videos about Pokemon and binging shows. I've watched shows in, like, 2 days when they have, like, 26 episodes.
Same.
So...
Okay, so ketchup chips. I don't like them. I want to establish that right off the bat. I don't really like ketchup chips, but if you put a bowl in front of me, I will eat all of them.
That's pretty much how chips work.
and I will not question it, and I don't do it. I don't know why I like them. I don't like them. I'm so conflicted about them. Okay, so this next comment is from Annalena Pacheco. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Yes, and it's which Disney princess universe would you like to live in? I mean, I could say Moana because it's so pretty there, but it seems like the best place to be, especially since we're both from cold type places.
I already live in Frozen's universe.
Yes. So I guess I would have to go with, you go.
Okay, I don't know why I'm picking Tangled. It just seems like the right
That
place.
seems like a very calm place.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any wars.
It
seemed pretty basic.
The Royal Guard at most had to worry about thieves.
I could go with my favorite princess, which is Belle, but I don't really want to live in that time era in France because it's like magical unless I lived in the castle, you know?
Yeah.
And
but, like as a piece of furniture or as
no. Maybe the aftermath when the Beast is not the Beast and he's nice.
So Universe of Beauty and the Beast post
the Beast.
Post movie.
Yes, basically.
Okay, so our last question, we got time for one more. It comes from Senor Pachuche.
And can you guys hug? Well, since technically we just met each other for the first time, we'll give you a high five to prove that we're in the same place and this isn't a green screen.
Yeah, there's no green screen magic going on here, right?
Ta-da!
There
It's
we go.
real! Everything's real.
We're actually in the same place.
This isn't a lie on the internet.
Still at the beginning, it's still true.
Ta-da.
Although, it came dangerously close to this not being true.
That is true, because
I
planes.
I had some
real life.
real travel hardships on my way here. I was supposed to get here the night before we were supposed to shoot this. I got here about 20 minutes before we were supposed to shoot this.
So I guess that's all we got for you.
Yeah, this was a fun little experiment to try out. Thanks for sticking through it with us. We had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you had fun watching it.
And if you have any ideas for future Cartoon Conspiracies, you can always leave them in the comments below.
Definitely send them our way. It really helps us guide us towards which shows to cover for all of you.
Mm-hmm. And you may want to stick around because 2017 is coming up.
We got a lot of good stuff in 2017. We got a lot more coma theories,
Yes.
a lot more all in their head theories.
Yeah, a lot more dreams.
Yeah, a lot more of the main characters being dead. It's gonna be a good time.
We're ready to keep going with those. And if you want, you can press subscribe to let you know when those come out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we got a lot of good stuff coming out in 2017.
And remember,
Frederator loves you.